What's going on, everyone? Happy Monday. Hopefully everyone is doing well and having a great day so far. It is time now for the Monday weather update for Monday, October 28th, 2024. If you're new to my channel, welcome to my channel. This is where I do the weather update on all the weather happenings across the United States and sometimes around the world as well. If you're new to my channel and want to stay informed with what's going on with the weather for, say, the next 7 to 10 days, then subscribe down below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. The more people that hit that thumbs up button, the more YouTube's going to push this content throughout the algorithm. Let's try for 20 like button hits today. And of course, share this video with anyone you know. Leave your comments down below. Alrighty, starting off today in the Philippines once again, here's an update on that death toll from that tropical storm that hit there. It is now at more than 150 dead or missing from the massive flooding and landslides in the Philippines. And you can see here, look at this picture. It's just an absolute mess there. And things are going to take some time for this to get any better, and the recovery effort, as we know with all these storms that have happened around the world, does take some time. Taking a look at the U.S. national satellite picture, we can see a few things going on. That old system that was exiting the coast of the Carolinas, it has gone out into the ocean, and it has pretty much fizzled. There's just a few clouds left from that. We also do see some clouds from a system moving across portions of the plains and coming across the Four Corners region. That's a system we are going to be continuing to watch over the next several days. Just a couple showers with it right now, and there are some showers across portions of the Rocky Mountains and even some higher elevation snow showers as well. Showers continue today across portions of the Pacific Northwest. Let's take a look at the National Weather Service now, where we can see here on this map, there's a lot of things going on. We do have winter weather advisories and even winter storm warnings for that system that is hitting portions of Wyoming, Colorado, and Nevada, and Utah even has some winter weather as well, even up into Montana, where there could be several inches of snow in the higher elevations. You go just to the east, and well, the wind is starting to cause problems. What kind of problems? Red flag warnings. Yes, they are up once again for portions of Texas, Oklahoma, portions of Kansas, Nebraska, and even portions of Colorado, and extreme southwest portions of Iowa. It's something we are going to be watching probably over the next several days for the wildfire threat. It's really not going to go away, but there is the relief in form of some rain that could be coming for you. We'll talk about that in a little bit. And take a look at the East Coast. All is dry. Pacific Northwest, things are pretty quiet there as well, at least from an advisory standpoint. And there are some air quality issues down across portions of Mississippi and Louisiana for today. All right, taking a look at the tropics, we are now code orange over the next several days for chances of development in the Caribbean. Yeah, that's right. It is now up to 40% in the Caribbean, and there is a good potential that there could be a system that develops there. We'll take a look at the models for that in just a little bit. Taking a look now at what's going on with the expected rainfall over the next 1 through 7 days. And you can see here, take a look at this. Yes, heavy rains from Texas right on up into the upper Midwest and even portions of the Great Lakes over the next 1 through 7 days. This is rainfall that is very much so needed. Still some rainfall expected in the Pacific Northwest. All right, taking a look at the Storm Prediction Center now. No risk of severe weather today, but come tomorrow, there is the marginal risk of severe weather across portions of Wisconsin, Minnesota, Iowa, South Dakota, Kansas, Nebraska, Oklahoma, and extreme northern Texas. So we'll have to watch out for this. No tornado threat at this time. Wind and hail will be the main threats for this event. And then day 3, the setup gets a little bit more interesting, where we do have the threat of wind, hail, and maybe even an isolated tornado or two cannot be ruled out with this. Let's take a look at the models now, and we'll start off with the RGEM model. I'm going to reverse this, and you can see here, all is quiet in that area for today. all is quiet on the East Coast. Just a few showers do come on shore for South Carolina, Georgia, and portions of Florida. Nothing major. And we do note there will be a warm front that's passing through the Northeast tomorrow. That could provide some clouds and even some showers for portions of New England. And you can see here, not much in the way of activity actually gets going tomorrow, with exceptions to North Dakota, Iowa, at least on this model, Kansas as well. And then as we get into Wednesday, look what happens here. Things start to get a little bit more active. And as we head into Wednesday afternoon, you can see a pretty healthy line of thunderstorms does get going. And along this line, I do think there will be chances for some wind damage, hail, and like I said, there may even be isolated tornadoes, because the setup ahead of this front and area of low pressure is quite impressive for this time of year. This threat will continue to push east. You can see as we get into overnight Wednesday, the RGEM model does show this continuing into portions of Arkansas and maybe even western Tennessee and western Kentucky before, as you can see here, it does start to weaken some. But then again, on Thursday, which is Halloween, we'll have to watch out for some shower and thunderstorm activity across portions of Louisiana. And then as we head towards Friday, look what happens here. You can see the moisture with this front. Yet again, another system where the frontal moisture does start to dry up. Let's take a look at the GFS for this. And you can see on the GFS, it shows pretty much similar thinking as the RGM. And as this system moves into the northeast, you can see not a lot of precipitation. However, as I advance this further, look what happens as we get into Saturday night. Yet again, another thunderstorm threat sets up in the plains, and that go around, there's going to be multiple rounds of thunderstorm activity and heavy rainfall spread out over several days. That's right. Watch what happens as I advance this. Sunday, another round gets going on top of the round you already had on Saturday night. Look at Oklahoma. That's some pretty hefty thunderstorm activity. And then again, as we head into Sunday night into Monday, look here across portions of Missouri, Arkansas, and Illinois. Yes, that's the threat of severe thunderstorms, and it doesn't stop there. Another system gets going, though a little bit more east. There's another chance of thunderstorms, and this time, we're talking about Tuesday, it could be across the Ohio Valley, and eventually that system will push east. And watch what happens as it pushes east. A ripple of energy does form along the low, which provides some rainfall for portions of the east. Let's take a look at what goes on with the GFS for that. And we can see here, half an inch rainfall amounts do show up in Pennsylvania. At that point, there is also widespread 2 to 4 inches of rainfall from portions of Oklahoma up into Illinois, Missouri, Arkansas, Iowa, Wisconsin, maybe even portions of Michigan, western Kentucky, western Tennessee, portions of Mississippi. These are all areas that desperately need the rainfall. Kansas City and Kansas, you're included in this as well. So this is really some good news. Now let's take a look at the tropical threat that continues down in the tropics. And we'll see here on the GFS that it is still signaling that there could be tropical development within the next 7 days. Here we are at hour 126. This would be this upcoming Saturday. And you can see an area of low pressure is going. And at that point, there is a tropical storm. And the GFS does show it drifting east northeast, and look what happens here. It does develop into a hurricane, but again, it's something we're just continuing to watch. The National Hurricane Center, as stated, and I'll show you again, does say there is 40% chance of cyclone formation in the Caribbean over the next 7 days. So remember yesterday, it was only about 30%. So this is an increase from yesterday. Let's get back to the GFS. Let's go back to the United States, and now let's talk about temperatures for just a moment. And take a look here. You can see today was a very warm day across portions of Texas. Dallas, you were in the 80s today. That warm weather is going to continue to push east. You can see Wednesday, yet again, highs well above average, especially across portions of the Mid-Atlantic and Northeast. Look at Thursday. You do see here 70s, mid-70s, all the way up into northern New England. Portions of Vermont, you just had snow last night, and meanwhile, on Thursday, Halloween, we're going to be talking about 70s for you. Once you get southwest of New York City, localized 80-degree temperatures cannot be ruled out. In the West Coast, though, in the Pacific Northwest specifically, temperatures are going to be below average for you, and I think that is going to continue to be the theme for several days. There will be a cool down in the Northeast, once again, as we head into the weekend, but it's not going to last for long. Watch what happens as I go into next week on GFS. Voila, yet again, another warm-up in the east. That's ahead of that system that's going to provide all the stormy weather for portions of Oklahoma, the plains, into the Great Lakes. There's going to be multiple rounds of thunderstorms. I think there will be probably at least one, if not two, slight risk days during that period for those severe weather potential areas that I've been talking about. And take a look at the West Coast. Yes, 18Z next Tuesday, you continue to be below average temperatures, and that is going to continue really for the next 7 to 10 days. I expect below average temperatures out there, while things will kind of be a roller coaster in the east. We're going to have times where things go well above average, then we're going to drop down to average, then we're going to go back to above average once again in the east and the northeast, and you'll see that when I show you the 6 to 10 day and the 8 to 14 day, starting off with the 6 to 10 day temperature outlook from the Climate Prediction Center. And we can see here Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Columbus, Ohio, Cincinnati, Ohio, Louisville, Kentucky, Atlanta, Georgia, just to name a few cities, well above average temperatures over the next 6 to 10 days. But you can see below average in the west, places like Las Vegas, Albuquerque, New Mexico, Phoenix, Arizona. Yes, those places will actually finally go below average. Crazy to say for Phoenix, because you just broke some records just a couple days ago when it comes to temperatures, and meaning record warm. Take a look at this. Well above average precipitation centered across Texas and Oklahoma, and even all the way up into portions of Missouri and Iowa. I do think there will be 2 to 4 widespread, 2 to 4 inch amounts with those series of disturbances that rise along that frontal boundary, and there could even be localized 4+ inches where training sets up with any storm. And you can see here, we're starting to introduce some above average precipitation across portions of the Northeast, but right along the immediate coast, it will still be below average precipitation. Northern California and portions of the Pacific Northwest, below average precipitation on a 6 to 10 day outlook for you. 8 to 14 day temperature outlook. Majority of the country is above average, with exceptions to the Four Corners region, where temperatures will be slightly below average, Alaska above average, and Hawaii above average temperatures as well. Taking a look at the 8 to 14 day precipitation outlook today shows across portions of New Mexico above average precipitation, and then just slightly above average to moderately above average everywhere else in between, all the way up to the Great Lakes, and then slightly above average along all of the East Coast, which would be some welcome news. But again, it's not going to be enough, at least for the Northeast. It's not going to be enough to end the drought situation. And if you're in the Carolinas, don't worry. This is not going to cause more flooding for you. Alrighty, folks, that does it for the Monday weather update. We'll have another weather update again in the near future. If you enjoyed this update, give it a thumbs up, subscribe down below, hit that notification bell, share this video with anyone you know, and leave your comments down below. Thanks for watching, and have a fantastic evening.